Look, I don't want to sound all super hypey, but what I'm about to share with you, it works. Every single successful person that I know, they all share this one single thing in common. This single thing has allowed me to make over 7 figures online in my business with just one digital product doing a little over 900K. Everybody that does this is successful, and 99% of people do not do it. That is why there is a 1%. So if you want to be in the 1%, please just do this. Look, this is the key to unlocking all of your goals, all your entrepreneurial endeavors, unlocking all of that potential that you have within, overcoming your fears, all of that stuff. And unlike a lot of my videos, this one's gonna be a quickie. This one's only gonna take me about 5 minutes to break down. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then you're gonna be kind of proving my point in this video by showing that you don't have to focus to actually accomplish anything. But look, this one thing that like 99% of people are not doing is this. They're not making a decision to simply accomplish their goals. Look, and I know this sounds so simple, but if you just understand this right now, I'm telling you, this is the key to me making over 7 figures online. You need to make a decision. So what most people are out here doing is that they're making choices instead of making a decision. And here's the thing about making a choice, it has options. But when you make a decision, you cut off everything. A decision is definitive. This is what I'm going to do. So when people are out here making choices, they're negotiating with themselves within. And what happens is your subconscious mind, you don't introduce a task to it, so it doesn't know what to work on. Whereas when you make a decision to do something, you're basically drawing a line in the sand and you're not negotiating with yourself. And you need to be willing to die behind your decision. Now, I know that that sounds very, very serious, right? Like, I don't want to die. But you really have to take it to that extreme within your mind. So when I fired my job April 1st, 2016, I made a decision that I am no longer employable. Like, I am mentally unemployable. And this entrepreneurial journey that I've been on, it's had its highs, but oh my goodness, has it had its lows. But never was there a point in any of those lows where I'm like, I'm gonna go work for somebody, because I made a decision that day, April 1st, 2016, that I will never work for somebody again a day in my life, no matter what happens. I've had thoughts about what I would do if I was homeless. Like, I put a whole plan together. Like, I'm gonna live in the airport and then I'm gonna steal food from Chipotle because they put the to-go orders on a little shelf. And I was like, oh, I can just go in there and get something and I can live at the airport. Like, I've had these type of thoughts, but I've never had the thought of going to work for somebody because I stopped negotiating with myself. I made a decision to do something. And here's what you need to understand about your mind. And I say that mindset is so important. And a lot of the time when I talk about mindset, majority of people think that it's fluff. But I'm like, mindset is more important than skill set, because it doesn't matter what skills you acquire. It doesn't matter what you know how to do. It doesn't matter the information that you go out and obtain if you don't have the mindset to put everything together to make the pieces work. And a lot of this stuff comes down to simple mindset and human psychology. So you need to understand how your mind works. And when you understand how your mind works, you'll know this. Your subconscious mind is running everything, not your conscious mind. And you need to learn how to train your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind it's basically like a dumb AI. So, right, we're in the age of everybody talking about all this AI stuff, right? All this artificial intelligence. People think that they can just use ChatGPT for anything, right? Everything's ChatGPT, right? But if you've ever used any type of AI, you realize that the AI is actually dumb. That's why a lot of people aren't getting the results that they want in their business by the prompts that they put in the AI, because the AI is not intelligent. It simply just works off of the prompts that you put into it. So most people are putting the wrong prompts into the AI, and that's why they're not getting anything back from the AI that is going to show them a result in the real world. Our subconscious mind, it works the same way. And even on another level, like, it's kind of like the Matrix, right? You know how in the Matrix, when everything breaks down, it's just a series of ones and zeros. Our mind literally works on the same stuff that Wi-Fi works with. Like, there's science behind this stuff. I'm not a scientist, but if you just want to nerd out one night, Just go and Google like how our brains work like the internet and Wi-Fi. It's literally the same as that thing. Our brains are supercomputers. But at the same time, your subconscious, it's dumb. So when I say that it's dumb, this is what I mean. Your subconscious mind, it has no reasoning ability. It believes what you tell it. The problem is that 99% of people, or over 99% of people, they're telling it the wrong stuff. Just like how all these people thinking that they can just come up with all these product ideas and content ideas that aren't getting them any sales or any engagement or any audience. Like, why is the stuff that they're putting into the AI, why is it not working? Because they're giving it the wrong prompts. So why are you not able to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish as an entrepreneur? It's because you're giving your AI the wrong prompts, because you have not given your subconscious a decision. You have not given your subconscious something to actually work on. You have options and you're out here making choices versus cutting everything off and making a decision, so your brain and your subconscious now has something to work on. So I'll give you a real life example of how this stuff works. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody before and you have a name on the tip of your tongue, but you can't think of the person's name? You're like, what's her name? What's her name? I can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. And then randomly, 2 weeks later, the name just randomly comes to you. You're like, Rebecca. That was her name, Rebecca, Becky with the blonde hair, right? Why do you just randomly think of the name 2 weeks later? Because you introduced a problem to your subconscious to come up with a solution for. And your subconscious mind is literally running and processing 24/7, 365 nonstop to come up with solutions to tasks that are introduced to it. But when you don't make a decision to do something, you don't actually introduce a task for your subconscious to come up with a solution for. So since it doesn't have a task to work on, it doesn't come up with the answer for it. That's why some people, have you ever heard of people, and I do this all the time, people be like, man, let me sleep on it. And then they come up with the idea overnight. Or have you ever heard of anybody that has these ideas overnight and they say like, oh, I thought about it in my sleep? Or have you ever heard about somebody that was going through something that they couldn't figure out and then all of a sudden they just wake up and they're like, I got it. That's because they've introduced a problem for their subconscious to work on. So they've gotten their subconscious mind on board with their conscious mind, and then they both actually meet. So when you're out here with options, and you're making choices instead of making a definitive decision, your subconscious mind is not going to get on board with your conscious mind. And that's why most people cannot achieve anything that they claim that they want to achieve, because their consciousness says that they want to do this, but their subconsciousness is not on board, and you have to get everything on board. And then when you do make that decision, you need to make sure that that decision is something that you actually want to make. So this is what I mean by this. So like I said, over 99% of people, they're not out here making any decisions. They're just making choices, right? But even the choices that people are making, they're not the choices that they actually want to make, because this is how all this stuff works, right? So right here, we have you. This is you. This is your actual consciousness. But a lot of people, they don't identify with them actual selves, as crazy as that sounds. A lot of people, they identify on this level here, which is their thoughts. So a lot of people, they think that their thoughts are them, when the majority of the thoughts that you have are not you. They're simply just a thought. And I know that might sound a little crazy to you right now, but you don't control your thoughts. I'm not saying that you don't control any of your thoughts, but for majority of the thoughts that you don't have any control over them. They're just random things that are just coming into your brain nonstop. And when people fight me on this thing, I'm like, just sit down and try to control your thoughts then. Let's see how successful you are at it. And something that really, really taught me that my thoughts are not me is meditating. Like, just sit down for 20 minutes and close your eyes and just see all of the crazy thoughts that come into your head. Some stuff you're gonna be like, whoa, where did that come from? And you will start to realize that your thoughts are not actually you. But most people identify with their actual thoughts. They don't identify with them actual selves. But most people identify with their thoughts, right? And then on the outer layer here, you have your emotions. And a lot of people, They stay bouncing back in between these two right here. A lot of people, they identify either with their emotions or their thoughts, but you'll see that your emotions are even a further layer out away from who it is that you actually are. And the further and further that we get away from who you actually are, the dumber people get also. So less intelligent people identify themselves with their emotions, but there's even a stupider level out there of your brain, which is this. And this layer here is your group thought. And majority of people out here, they're making choices instead of making decisions, not even based on anything that they want to do or their thoughts or their emotions, but they're making these choices out here off of their group think, off of what other people think. So people that are out here, they'll be doing stuff because the crowd is doing it, or they might not want to post that piece of content because it's not the same type of content that other people are making. Or even on a stupider level, like groupthink, somebody will despise a person because their group that they identify with doesn't like what this individual person does that has no effect on their life at all, whether that be who they voted for, color of their skin, what somebody chooses to do in their own house, what type of gas somebody puts in their car, just so many stupid things. But somebody will hate somebody else for that because the group that they identify themselves with is opposed to that type of stuff. So I'll give you an example real quick. So let's say that we have somebody named Johnny, right? And Johnny, he wants to be a successful entrepreneur. So Johnny, he wants to make this money. He wants to be a successful entrepreneur, but Johnny knows that a skill that he needs to learn in order to grow his business is copywriting. So Johnny, he goes out and he buys these copywriting books because he wants to know how to write VSLs. If you're not familiar with what a VSL is, it's a video sales letter. So let's say that Johnny, he wants to learn how to write sales letters, and he wants to learn how to have good copy on his landing pages, and he wants to learn how to write headlines that convert. And Johnny also knows that if he becomes a better copywriter, then he'll become a better content creator also, because he'll know how to effectively communicate to sell stuff, and he'll know how to write better headlines for something like a YouTube video, right? Through copywriting skills, he'll know how to write better thumbnails and titles and whatnot, because all this stuff goes hand in hand, because copywriting simply just comes down to effectively communicating to a prospective lead that will turn into a customer, right? So let's say that this is what Johnny wants to do. Johnny wants to be the successful entrepreneur, and Johnny knows that something that he needs to work on is copywriting. So he goes out, he buys copywriting books, he buys copywriting courses. But then say that Johnny's boys hit him up and they're like, yo, Johnny, man, we ain't seen you in a while, man. You need to come kick it with your boys. You need to come kick it with your bros, man. Put them books down, man. Come kick it. Let's go to the club. Well, Johnny's groupthink starts to kick in. He's like, man, I don't want to be a bad friend. Like, I want to be there for my guys. And then his emotions start to kick in, because Johnny might feel lonely because he knows that nobody in his friend group are going on the same route and same path that he actually wants to go on in being a successful entrepreneur. So he might be going through a season of loneliness, and that's an emotion that he feels. But then, since he feels that emotion, because humans, we're emotional creatures, and we'll first feel an emotion and then we'll logically justify those emotions that we're feeling, then here, he'll start to logically justify that feeling of loneliness. Well, I don't want to be alone, and I don't want to lose my friends, and they've been with me. I've been knowing these dudes since I was 12 years old, man. They my day ones. Man, and if you can't be there for your day ones, then who can you be there for? Right, so let's say that they go out to the club, right? But then Johnny runs into somebody else at the club that has let's say that Johnny runs into a guy that has on a red hat, right? Say Johnny runs into a guy that has on a red hat that says, Make America Great Again. And Johnny, through his groupthink, he doesn't like the guy that wears the Make America Great Again hat. And then Johnny's boys all start saying, man, look at this dude with the Make America Great Again hat. And now, since Johnny isn't alone, they feel confident in berating this guy for wearing this particular hat, because that hat makes them feel anger, And then they'll justify their anger by thinking of certain things that other people have done that they may have seen online or something that wear that hat or that support whatever message that hat symbolizes. So say that Johnny and his boys, they go and they confront this guy, but they didn't know that the guy had friends in the bathroom. So then when the friends come out, now they're in a brawl. And what Johnny and his boys didn't know was that these guys had guns on them. And then they shot Johnny. And Johnny's now dead. And Johnny is not going to be that successful entrepreneur. Why? Because he let his group think, his emotional think, and his logical brain influence what he actually wanted to do. Instead of thinking inside out, he let it happen by thinking outside in. So if you understand this simple thing about how your brain and your subconscious mind works, then you can get your entire brain power on board with you. Because if Johnny understood this, then when he gets that calls from his boys, he's first going to think about, what is it that I actually want to do? And I want to be a successful entrepreneur, and I know that I've not been getting sales because my landing page is not converting, because I need to work on my copywriting skills. So that's his logical brain that he's going to think. And then that emotion that he may feel of that loneliness, he's just going to say, oh, it's just an emotion. It's just a season that I'm in right now because I know what it is that I actually want to do. And then he doesn't allow his groupthink to affect his decisions. And then Johnny stays in the house that weekend and reads those copywriting books and consumes and takes notes on that copywriting course that he took, because he knows that that's actually what he wants to do. He knows how to control his brain. He knows how to control his subconscious mind. He knows how to get his subconscious mind on board with his conscious mind so he can actually achieve his goals. And Johnny starts to get numbers coming in online in his business, like all of them that you see on the screen right now. So if you're ready to make more working less online from stuff that you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this Credit at the Top community. For weekly coaching from myself, all my exclusive trainings, plus a private community and entrepreneurs, all designed to grow your business online. It's only $47 a month to join right now. That's less than a cup of coffee per day. And we're going up to $97 a month here pretty soon. So go ahead and click the link down in the description to tap into the community. And I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. But simply because Johnny made a decision of something that he wants to do, he stopped negotiating with himself, and then he understands how his mind and his subconscious works and gets his subconscious mind coming on board with his conscious mind. He can make that sound decision to stay in the house, be lonely, and understand copywriting so he can get higher conversion rates on his landing page and actually achieve this stuff right here that he wanted to achieve. Oops. Well, he doesn't want to be dead, right? So actually achieve this stuff right here that he wants to achieve, instead of being that guy that doesn't understand that he made a decision. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's not negotiate with myself, and let's not let my thoughts, my emotions, and my groupthink influence what it is that I actually want to do. He can become a successful entrepreneur instead of getting shot dead over some stupid stuff that doesn't even matter. And I'm telling you, every successful person that I know, all of my mentors, all of my successful friends, and to the levels of success that I've taken it to, we all understand this. We all understand that it all starts with making a decision, not negotiating with yourself, and then understanding that mindset is more important than skill set, so we can have the mindset to actually follow through with those decisions that we made. And a lot of the stuff, it starts with having a dopamine detox and removing certain distractions from your life so you can get on the right frequency to actually attract what it is that you want in your life. And something that was big for me in doing a dopamine detox was getting rid of social media. I'll link a video for that at the end so you can check it out. So go ahead and click the link down in the description if you want to tap into the community. And I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. And go ahead and check out this video right here about how I quit Instagram with over 100,000 followers so I could actually focus and get my mind right. It's Crowded at the Top.